This took place in the year 2014, as far as I can remember. And I was with a friend of mine. We drove to an area nearby where he lives. He parked his car, and we got out, and we're just walking around. This was always a safe area where we felt we could walk around at any hour of the night. We never had any issues because I've had issues doing that in the past in other areas. I know that it was somewhat late because I worked late, and this must have been after work. So somewhere from 10:45 to midnight, maybe a little after midnight, somewhere during that time frame is when this took place. After walking around for a while, we stopped. So, okay, let me describe, excuse me, where we were. It's like suburbs. And there are two different suburbs, I guess, with different names, kind of different areas, which came together and were connected by a walking path. It was not a dirt path, it was paved. You could ride your bike through there. It just connected these two areas. And there's a house right here with their backyard, a house right here with their backyard and side yard, which go right up against the fence, and the fence is like this. In the middle is the corridor, the pathway to walk through. And there's a little, like a ledge to sit on. So we sat down and were resting and talking. I don't think for that long, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. So as I remember it, I'm sitting right here. He's sitting to my right. We're both kind of facing forward, talking. And beyond him, again to my right, at the corner of my eye, I see something. I see like a very faint speck of light. And when I turned to look, I actually got a direct look at it. It didn't disappear when I looked directly at it. And what I saw was what you would see if you were to watch a bonfire or a medium to large fire. You don't see this typically with one little small flame, but you build a fire when you're camping, or if there's any bonfire situation. You look at the top of the fire and you'll see an ember go up and disappear. A couple embers, and they disappear. You know, they float up, they disappear just after a few feet. I should mention that it was a windy night. Not incredibly windy, but you know, you'll get a gust, you can hear the wind through the trees, and then it calms down. And it would happen, it would calm down. It was that sort of night. During the moment when I saw this, we were during a calm. It was absolutely dead silent. I don't remember hearing crackling, but I would have to talk to my friend again and see what he thought. But we never really have talked about this since it happened. Anyway, I saw what looked like embers from the top of a fire, and if that's what it was, it must have been a large fire. But anyway, I saw the embers. I looked directly at them. I saw it float up, disappear. And there was no fire. There was nobody in that backyard. It was dead quiet. We could hear everything because we were the only ones out there talking. I don't remember if we exchanged words yet, but what I remember is after seeing that, so I had to turn to my right to see the embers. Then I looked down to my left on the ground in that exact moment right after the embers disappeared. This sounds so crazy. This is like, nothing like this has ever happened. It's just like one thing after the next. As if it were a scene, as if I were watching a scene in a movie. But a black cat, in that very moment, just didn't appear, but it walked out from behind a bush and sat directly in the middle of the corridor and was staring at us. I looked at it directly into its eye. It just calmly, I don't remember it meowing or doing anything. It just walked out, sat, and stared at us. At that moment, I think we probably looked at each other like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? Like, what was that? Did you see that? And in that moment, as this all happened within a few seconds, as the cat is sitting there and I'm staring at it, I could hear from beyond the cat, I don't know, 200, 300 meters away. But off in the distance, there's a many tall trees, and I can hear before I could see the sound of the wind coming towards us, and then I could see the trees all starting to move. It was like a strong gust that came from directly in a straight line, beyond the corridor, directly to us. The strongest wind yet of the night, and it blew directly through that corridor. And as that wind hit us, what I remember is that we didn't have to say anything like, let's get out of here. We just got up and left, because it's like, this all took place within 45 seconds or 30 seconds, maybe even less. The embers, and then the cat, and then this wind, this weird series of events that weren't like outright scary or threatening, but it almost in a weird way felt like we were being told to get the fuck out of that area, like leave this area. So we got up and left, and that's it. And I don't think it was until later, after this whole thing happened, but I did ask him what he saw, so that he could tell me what he saw, and I could find out if that was the same thing as what I saw. I've always learned, if through any type of experience like this, if you're not sure what happened, if I'm not sure what happened, that's what I do. I wouldn't share what I saw first, because I'm always afraid that somebody might just say, oh yeah, I saw the same thing too, but they really didn't. But he saw the embers too. There was no fire. So the embers fly up. What the fuck? I look down. Oh my god, there's this cat comes and sits, stares. It's not that crazy. I mean, I don't remember, from that point forward, I don't think anything was following me in my life. It wasn't like something latched on to me. I don't remember any bad luck after that. But a few weeks later, or a month, I did try to bring it up. Or maybe it wasn't me. It just came up in conversation. And my friend described it as that demon. And I was like, what? Because we didn't see an entity. Maybe we felt something. We didn't see a being, and he wasn't referring to the cat as being a demon. It was just like the sense, the feeling of this something pushing us out of that area. And I always thought that was strange, because I knew exactly what he meant when he described it as that demon that we encountered that night. But I didn't. Again, it wasn't like I wasn't attacked. And I don't know what else to say. This is just something that I can't explain. A very weird experience. I've never had anything like that ever happen. We've all had weird things happen here and there, coincidental things like, oh my god. And you look at somebody like, what the hell was that? But this was 1, 2, 3 things. The wind by itself probably wouldn't have seemed like anything. But in the order that these things happen, and I guess the frequency between each little thing. The main thing, really, because I believe that was a real cat. I don't believe that was a hallucination. I don't believe the wind was a hallucination. I don't know how to explain the embers. Why did I see embers as if from the very top of a bonfire, floating out of this backyard and almost over the fence, and then disappearing right kind of at the fence line? I don't know what that was. I've never, well, I was just about to say I've never met anyone who has seen anything like that, but I don't talk about this stuff, which is why I'm talking about it here. Because why not? I'm speaking to a camera. I'm sharing this experience. I'm going to upload it, and maybe someone can tell me that they have had a similar experience or not. But I decided, why not? I have a very small number of experiences like this that I can share, and I think I'm just going to share them and put up a video and see what if I can get any interesting feedback from people about this. Have you experienced anything like that? Or does this remind you of something maybe completely different that you experienced? Um, as always, I think the best would be, what I would prefer is if somebody wants to share, they would make a video talking about it. But maybe it's better just to leave a comment if you don't feel like kind of putting yourself out there. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I'll see you next time.